Hello YouTube, Asuma here with another episode of my Hermitcraft LP. So if you saw the last episode, you'll know that I want to be moving on from the spawn village and build my own base, and this is going to take me a lot of time. I need to scout out a location because the last one that I picked turned out to be Hypno's base, and yeah, there's a lot of preparations. I need to get materials together and all that kind of thing. So while I'm preparing to do that, I'm going to be finishing off all these projects I've started around spawn. And one of the ones we need to do is the bread maker. We also need to finish off the tree farm, the sapling farm floor needs finishing, and then the netherwart farm. And I also might do some more work on the animal pens, but those are the main projects that I need to finish off at the moment. So in between episodes I went over to Hypno's and enchanted a pick. I got a really good one. Let's just show that off. There we go, yep. Efficiency 4, Unbreaking 3 and Silk Touch. And so at the moment what I want to do is take this pick and go to the nether. I feel like going on a little bit of adventure and trying to collect some glowstone. So I'm going to go do that, and then we'll see how much I get when I come back. So I'm here in the nether, and I just got knocked off of the top of that by a ghast and almost died. I collected all the glowstone, and so far I've almost got 4 stacks. And anyway, being out here has got me thinking that for an activity like this, you need certain types of armour and things that you're going to take with you. So I was thinking that I should get some feather falling boots, maybe diamond or perhaps gold one, because they'll be easier to get. And then I could take those with me when I come here to the nether to get glowstone. And if you watch the way the pick works, all I do is click it and it breaks a few blocks at once. There you go. It just broke a netherrack block as well, so that's sort of a waste to use it on netherrack, and that's got me thinking as well that I should perhaps try and get a lower level enchanted pick that has a slower speed on it, as in efficiency, and also silk touch, which might be easier to get because I'm told that around level 27 or 22 is the ideal place to get silk touch. So if I got a diamond pick like that, I could get one that would be ideal for glowstone. And all of this was making me think about the restart room or advanced quick kit, whatever you want to call it. I've made 2 tutorials on them and how they'd be quite useful for a situation like this. If I decide I want to go to the nether and get some glowstone, then I can make a machine to give me all of the items that I need, all the right types of armour, because ones like projectile protection, that's the one, will help me. And I've just realised I have no idea what direction to head in because I'm totally lost. But yeah, so I could make a machine that basically gives me everything that I need. Enchanted bow, perhaps with knockback, that might help me take out the ghasts. I've used quite a few of my arrows already, so I'd need to bring a few of them. It could also dispense me the right sorts of potions that I need, like the fire resistance and speed ones, for when I'm out here in the nether. And yeah, it could give me all of my armour and the pick that I use as well, so I thought that was quite a good idea. But anyway, I'm going to continue hunting for glowstone. Yeah. Okay, here we are. I've made it back safe and sound, and I have a ton of glowstone. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 stacks, 14 and almost a half stacks of glowstone now, so that was a good journey. And in case you're wondering, that took me about an hour and a half. So lately on the server I've been using a ton of potions. I use my speed potions very often. We've got dispensers for those over here. And I've also started using some of the other potions as well. And what I want to do is change up this brewing area because it's not very efficient. I just tend to do a couple over here, walk over there. Everything's not really organised or anything like that. Same for picking out potions as well. I'd rather have these all in dispensers. So what I want to do is go down there and build something a little better for brewing potions. And this isn't going to be anything super efficient or that smart. I'm just going to rearrange things. So these farms down here are fairly useless now that we've got the bread maker, so I'm going to do away with these 2 and put a roof over that bit there, and also tidy up this whole area in general. Some of the farms have been destroyed by animals walking on top of the crops, so I'm going to build myself a little potion area and then show you that when it's done. So I changed my mind and decided to build the little potion area under this bit. I've removed those farms, and I've also changed all of this floor. I think it looks a lot nicer with this grey kind of look. But anyway, there are 9 different potion types that I can make, and if I put the dispensers on either side, that'll give me 10. And if I remove these blocks here, then I can put 9 in a row across there, and then have my potion stands on either side, which I think will be better. Another thing though was these dispensers, and the way I've laid them out was to put the signs underneath and the buttons above. And the reason I decided to do this was because you could put the stone on the wood here, and then you'd have your wooden sign on the stone at the bottom, and I thought that would just have a nice look to it. Now finished doing my little potion room area, and it's made me think quite a few things. First of all, that this is actually a little bit pointless because I'm going to be moving out of here before long, but anyway, it's going to make it easier for me to brew potions. I need to get an extra stand and put that on the side here, although it seems to me like perhaps 6 or 7 would be the best amount to have, so that when the first one you did finishes brewing, then you've just finished putting the ingredients in the last one. But anyway, some of the potions here are useful, like swiftness, and some of them are not, like slowness or weakness. You wouldn't want to take them as a potion like this anyway. And then if we were to put splash ones, which is what they would be used for throwing at mobs or other players on the server for a laugh or whatever, you would want them as splash potions, and then they would get dispensed out of the dispenser. But anyway, I guess I could come over here and grab a couple of the ones that I want to turn into splash potions anyway. So let's just put these back. But it's given me some ideas anyway for doing a project like this in the future when I want to build a proper potion stand. And yeah, what I want to do now is move over onto the bread maker and finish off this. So the problem that we're having at the moment is that the dispenser is firing twice, and someone's told me that, in fact a couple of people said it, that it's because we're powering this on all the time. And if we were to, because we've got a 1-tick pulse at the moment, if we were to invert this, then it would get turned on for a moment rather than get turned off for a moment, which is happening at the moment. So I'm going to try that, and then we'll see if that works. Unfortunately, this doesn't work. I've rotated the 1-tick pulse to the side so that we can take the output and invert it, and then it powers the redstone, which is directly on top of the dispenser, and this doesn't work at all. I can hear the piston firing off at the back, so the bud switch is fine, but nothing gets dispensed at all. So then I tried making it a 2-tick pulse, and then we would actually get like multiple seeds and bone meal at once. So it's a little bit of a mystery to me why this doesn't work, but I think it's just best to go back to the original wiring, because the problem that we have is just a multiplayer thing, I think, because on single player it never dispensed seeds twice, and it only seems to do it on multiplayer. So we'll go back to the original wiring, and we'll keep the reset button that we have, which I haven't wired up at the moment, and also keep that other one we have on the other side that gives us 1 seed when we come into the machine and we want to start using it. So once I've done that and put all the wiring back, I'm going to start work on the aesthetics and make the building around this thing. I was facing a problem here with the entrance to the bread maker. We couldn't use a normal Minecraft door because the light levels can pass through it, and that would interfere with the machine. So the alternative was to use sticky pistons and make a piston door, and we could have had a couple of sticky pistons at the bottom here and made a flush door where it pushes out 2 blocks and then it pulls them back in again, but that would have required a huge amount of redstone circuitry. And the alternative was to have sticky pistons at the bottom and also at the top, but that would have meant having some bulky redstone wiring around the top here, which wouldn't have looked very good. So I thought I'd give it a try. I didn't think it would work, but I extended the roof all the way out here, and the reason why is because the sunlight is going to come down and shine onto this block here, and then as it makes its way inside it's going to decay. And I was hoping that with the blocks here the light level would decay enough for it not to interfere with our wheat farm, and that actually happens to be the case. So I'm not prepared here, let's show you. And there you go, the light's harvesting the wheat, and you can see that the sunlight outside doesn't actually doesn't interfere with the farm. So that means that we can just have an open entrance like this, and then I don't have to worry about having any complex sticky piston doors. So I've moved on to the aesthetics now, and my first idea was to do this thing with some wooden arches like this. I was going to make 3 of them. This one's in the middle, and the ones either side would be a little bit smaller, and then we'd link them up together with some glass and have some stone bricks going along the side here. And as soon as I've built it, I think it's not going to look very nice. This does actually need some upside down stairs there, and yeah, I don't think that's going to look very good, so I thought I'd show you that and move on to something else now. So I do believe that my second attempt is going to be a lot better. This is looking good already, and all I really need to do at the moment is fill the rest in with glass. But I'm going to call this one the hot cross bun. I know that's a strange name, but it just reminded me of one because over here in England, when you have a hot cross bun, you have an X in the middle of it. And yeah, I was building this, it just kept kind of popping into my head. But anyway, it just so happens that where I lined up this wall over here, as you can see, the entrance goes a little bit further. I lined it up because of the redstone, it ends on both sides there. But actually it means like that the X in the middle is also directly above the redstone lamp, so yeah, that worked out quite well. And now all I've got to do is fill it in with glass, and that'll be it. But yeah, another thing is that it comes a little close to my house here, but it's not really that big of a deal. I've now finished putting in all of the glass, and it looks good from in here, and I've just realised that I've actually not given myself a way to get back out again, but we'll go through here. And yeah, I'm really happy with that. Let's get a view from above. Looks good, and no mobs can spawn on the top of this. And another thing I like is that the redstone is actually illuminating it all inside. There's lots of light coming from that redstone lamp as well, but it has a real nice look to it. And yeah, the top's made out of half slabs and stairs, so no mobs can spawn on it. And I thought I'd place the cross in the middle. And I must have made the wrong calculation here, because we have 5 on this side and 4 on that side, but I think it still looks good, so it doesn't have to be symmetrical. Anyway, the last thing we have to do now is just tidy up the entrance, and then the bread maker is finished. There we go. There wasn't much to do except fill in the dirt at the side. I originally thought I'd be adding in some stone bricks as well, but I don't know, it looks great how it is. So yep, I've added a sign and put some redstone torches either side, and that is the bread maker finished. The next thing I want to do is finish off the tree farm. This has been left undone for quite some time now, and all we really need to do is put the roof on top of here. But we've also got to finish this, which I was calling a river, and someone pointed out in the comments that the correct word for this would be a canal, and I quite like that. So we've got a canal between our 2 tree farms, so that needs finishing. And yeah, what I want to do with the roof on that one is make it 1 block higher, because someone told me that they've used this tree farm, and if you make it 1 block higher, you actually get enough saplings back to make the tree farm sustain itself. Now the thing with this is, if you make the roof 1 block taller, some of the trees grow 5 blocks high, and that's why I don't normally do this, because I like to have them in a big chunk where they're all 4 blocks high, and then you can harvest them going one direction, you can do the top 2, and then you can come back doing the other 2, and that's just the way I like to do things. It's probably better to have the roof taller if this actually works, and have the occasional tree that grows 5 blocks tall. So what we're going to do is build the roof on the other one 1 block taller, and then that way we can do a test. We can fill it up with saplings, let all the trees grow, and then see how many we get back when they decay, and then we can find out if raising the roof will make it self-sufficient. Okay, the second roof has been finished, and as you can see it's just 1 block higher. And I've just finished planting all of the saplings, and now we've got to wait for all of the trees to grow, and then we can do a test. So while that's happening, I'm going to dig this canal. I'm going to dig it all the way back to the end there, and I don't really know what to do with it at that point. I guess as the village expands over time, maybe someone will continue the canal and maybe put a bridge over it as there's more buildings that appear. But anyway, I'll also be working on this down here. We've got to make the tunnel to get down to the bottom, and I originally said what I was going to do is have all the 4 different wood types and do a pattern with them or something going down, but since now this isn't actually a sapling farm for 4 different types of trees, it feels a bit silly to do that, so I'll come up with something different. And the floor as well, I was going to make this really complex. If you remember, over here I dug down and said I was going to put a load of glass over the top and grass underneath, and I don't really want to do that anymore. I just want to finish this room up, and so I'll probably look for another pattern, something simple that we can just cover the floor in and leave it at this height. The canal has been extended to the end of the tree farm, but this isn't really going to look that great until this canal actually goes somewhere and there's more in the background over there to see. I'm still waiting for the tree farm to grow. It's hard to tell if all of them have grown yet. I can see that a couple at the front haven't, but we'll give it some time before we do the test. And then down here I've gone for something real simple. I often try and avoid using the most common materials, which are cobblestone, stone, wood and wooden planks, but here I decided to use it, and I quite like this. Gives it that kind of mineshaft feel. We've got these wooden support beams on the side holding up the roof, and lots of stone on either side. And then down in here, I haven't done anything yet, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to use a pattern that I saw on a Ethos Lab video, and he used the dark and light wood or birch wood, and he had this grid of 4 blocks, and then you had a glowstone somewhere, and then you had another 4 blocks. I can't quite remember how it worked, but I'll be able to figure it out, and I'm going to do that on the floor, except I'm going to use cobblestone, smooth stone and jack-o'-lanterns, so we'll see how that looks. I made a small segment of the pattern here using the dirt and cobblestone, and the gaps are where we'd put our jack-o'-lanterns. And the problem with this is that if you have a look at the edge, we've got 1 block here, and over on this side we have 2 blocks, and that's because the room's width is odd and not even. So I think I'm going to try and adapt this pattern or come up with a different one altogether, because I like everything to be symmetrical in here. Otherwise it'd bug me, even though it's not a big deal. But anyway, I'm going to try and come up with another pattern that will fit in the width of this room. I've tried lots of different patterns, and I was going to say that I didn't want to use a pattern anymore, but then anything else that I keep thinking of at the moment didn't seem too good. So I'm going to go with that original pattern, even though it won't line up with the room properly. I think it's a decent pattern and it will look good in here. But one of the things that I did was I went onto Google and I searched in the image search for pixel patterns, and it came up with some really interesting stuff. Now most of this was too big to use in the room. If I were to use some of the patterns I found, you wouldn't really be able to see that it was a pattern because it's quite big. But basically you'll get loads of pixel art that's like black and white, or basically 2 colours, and that could be 2 materials in Minecraft, and each pixel would be a block. So if you're ever doing some large scale building and you've got a big floor that you want to fill in with a nice pattern, I recommend doing that, because you can get some really cool almost optical illusion looking ones where it looks like a different sort of shape to what it actually is, if that makes sense. But anyway, that's something I want to try in the future if I ever get to do a big building project. But for now I'm going to rip up this floor and use the original pattern that I said I would use. I've now finally finished doing the floor, and this looks really good. It's a bit of a contrast to the ceiling. I'm thinking if I'd have stuck with the dark wood, birch wood and glowstone, that would actually have looked better. But this looks pretty cool, and one thing that I made a mistake on is that it does actually match up. As you can see here, we've got these pumpkins going down the middle, and what was throwing me off was that if we look here, we've got a square of 4 blocks there, and on this side we've only got 2. But actually then we have 4 here and 2 over here as well, so it does actually fit into an odd shaped room like this, and I'm really happy with that. I had a bit of a scare when some of the pumpkins lined up under the pressure plates. I couldn't remember if you could actually use them like that, but there you go, it's fine. So that's this project done, and now I'm going to go up to the tree farm and see if all the trees have grown. So I can't tell if all the trees have grown, but I think the majority of them have, so if 1 or 2 are missing it shouldn't make too big a deal. And there's some things that I want to talk about while I do this, so let's go ahead and start chopping these down. And I touched on it earlier in the episode, I want to go away and start my own base, and I need to pick a location. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, oh there we go, there's one that's grown 5 tall. And I want to build my base very far away. And the reason for this is that I want to do lots and lots of caving. I want to light up the entire area around my base by myself, so I don't want to be close to anyone else who's already been around there. And yeah, I've just noticed at the moment it does look like all of the trees have grown, and in fact quite a few of these are growing 5 tall, and it's really not a big deal, so perhaps this is a decent way of doing it. After all, you get a little bit extra wood and perhaps enough saplings to yeah, anyway, I'm babbling a little bit here. So yeah, I want to move away, and that is going to be, because I'm going to be quite far away, it means it's a lot of work involved travelling back and forth, and things are really going to slow down because I'm going to be going back to the basics, setting up a few farms while I work on my base. And while I'm doing that, I'm also going to be building a farm in the end, and my plan is to do the end farm a little bit at the time, and I'll have one episode that I'll record over time where I didn't want it to be a tutorial because I'm going to be using DocM's tutorial. Oh, I really struggle with saying that word. Tutorial. I think that's right. Yeah, so I'm going to be using... Hey, what did I just do there? Did I just walk back and... Oh, I'm going to have to watch that back. I'm babbling away and not thinking about what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm basically going to be doing his tutorial. So it seems pointless to do it in a format where I'll show you how to do it because I'm just doing what he does. But I want to make a record of me building it all because it's such a huge project and it requires tons and tons of resources, and all the guys on the Hermitcraft server are really keen to chip in and help out, but I'll probably end up doing most of the building by myself like I asked because yeah, I want to record it all for an episode. So while I'm moving away doing my own base, I'm also going to be building the end farm and recording that in little segments, so eventually I'll have an end farm episode coming out where you can see me build the whole thing. And the way I'm thinking of doing that is like a shot by shot kind of thing, where I'll say, you know, we're here at the end, we're going to build the platform out, and then the platform's built, now we're going to do this, and just you can see the whole thing kind of being built bit by bit like a commentated time lapse or something along those lines. So yeah, that's about what I want to talk about, and this is almost done. Oh, and my good timing that was, my axe breaks. So yeah, how much wood did we get from that? I don't think I had any inventory, but yeah, over 2 stacks, that sounds about right. Almost 3 stacks even. Right, let's activate the water, and then I'm going to go down the bottom and wait for all the drops, and we'll count them when we're done. So I finished collecting all of the drops, and we got 38. Now, I counted earlier, and I'm fairly sure that it took 40 of these. So we'll do one side and see how many we have left. Oh, that's too many. 17? That's not right. Maybe this is an odd number and I just missed one. Anyway, let's do the other side quickly as well. So we fall short by 3 saplings. So watching back the footage, I noticed that I placed 1 extra on this side. So we fall short by 2, which is what I thought, 20 on each side, and that's a lot better than the other farm. The other one you fall short by 5 or 6, but it's still not quite enough. Maybe we got unlucky on that harvest, but yeah, we've got the sapling farm down there to supplement it, so it's okay. That's a little bit better, and there's probably no point in me changing the other roof. It doesn't make a huge difference, and it's a huge amount of work to actually change it, so yeah, we'll leave it like that. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.